Today on Dice to Pixels, we're going to be talking about why everyone who wants an easy mode on Elden Ring is a jackass. How's that for clickbait? The things you can get away with when you're not monetized.
Right?
You know, I find it funny. I find it so comically funny that every time a new FromSoft game is dropped along the lines of a Souls-like, people get up in arms about how fucking hard it is when it's a Souls-like. It's by FromSoft.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a number of gamers out there that have played all the series. I know quite a few of them.
Yeah.
That will say that Elden Ring is probably one of the easier ones. But it's just too damn funny that every time, it's too hard. Why this should make this easier? Blah 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 blah. I want to play it too. It's like, well, sorry, bud. Like they're not gonna. It's not the style of game.
Yeah.
It's, to me, and I know we've talked about this before, but something like this where you have to like learn boss patterns, learn when to block, when to parry, when to do all this on certain encounters and stuff like that. It just reminds me of playing like Ninja Gaiden or like those old NES games where you're like, you have to memorize and practice where enemies, are going to appear, how they're going to attack. Do you have to jump? Do you have to wait, delay it, kind of stuff? Like it's just it's a memory recall kind of thing. But
so before we get too much further, Sarah, you're the one who found this.
Yeah, it was just, there was an article stating that Miyazaki was defending the decision to make it a hard game and not have an easy mode. That doesn't need to be defended.
No.
It's a game design. It's a design choice. It's the way the game's supposed to be. They're not games I'm ever going to play because I'm not good at that style of game. I know it.
Yeah.
It sucks because I love the art style of it. They're pretty. But you know what? There's other games with that art style.
And
It's
you
not
can just
unique.
watch me play it.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, you know what? If you want to watch something play, if you're there for the art, fucking streamers exist.
Yeah.
And they're good at, well, some of them are good at games. Not me. When I stream, I'm not good at games, but
Well, there was one, I don't know the name of the streamer off the top of my head. I just kind of passed. It was a short or something that I passed. But he was doing like a marathon stream, and he was playing Elden Ring and just getting his ass handed to him, so much so that he quit.
yeah.
He just quit.
I would like to see /partake /whatever in a stream where we get you and Danielle to play Elden Ring.
Oh my God. I would try it. I would try it.
Yeah, and I think so would she. But no offense, but I think you would both suck at it too.
Fuck yes.
So
The first encounter alone.
we'd need to stack it up something like Chad and I would have to play some other game at the same time that was super hard, like Super Meat Boy or something.
Oh, yes.
And like Race or I don't know.
Well,
we'd
Chad
have to
actually has
think about it,
played some of Super Meat Boy.
I have too, but like if you start over and like have to complete the game, like that's still a tall order.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to, if you have suggestions, drop them in the comments, because that is actually something we're coming up on having some longer time frames. Like Fridays, for instance, we can probably work a little longer. So there is some opportunity coming up where we might be able to stream. And frankly, I'm excited and I want to try some stuff. So yeah, let us know if you have any thoughts on something like that.
I mean, if we do that, we need to have a death count on screen
Oh, yeah,
for each of us.
100%. Yeah,
So I know I will die probably to those damn sheep that roll up and roll at you.
Yeah.
Remember those? You were doing that. You were doing the loop where you were just gaining levels, experience and stuff, and then there was those sheep that would like curl up and roll in a ball.
That wasn't.
That was
that was Stellar Blade. That wasn't. That was Stellar Blade. That wasn't Elden Ring.
Elden Ring
No.
had something like that.
Stellar Blade.
Okay.
So anyways, and then I think we'd also have to switch on every death, like so that you don't just get to try it again immediately. The other person has to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, let us know. The other thing I want to try with Chadley is Copilot at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there was a request for us to.
Yes.
Somebody mentioned, what was it? Was it Elden Ring or was it something else?
I think it was Elden Ring,
think
or
so.
It was some
Maybe
source.
maybe
like,
that's the trick. You guys get to play normally, and Chad and I have to play Copilot. Is Elden Ring for Xbox? Or?
I'm sorry, I can't. Why? It's for everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't trust Sarah's sources. I I don't believe it was.
Yeah, I think
Elden
it's
Ring.
bullshit.
I think she's.
I mean, I could check TikTok right now.
yeah, you probably should.
Okay.
No,
Because I'm sick and
I'll
tired
check
of these.
TikTok.
I don't trust TikTok.
I'm
We have TikTok, by the way. You should go follow us there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't talk.
oh, yeah.
Copyright strike.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Channel deleted.
good night,
We're done.
folks.
Yeah. So anyways, back to the actual difficulty thing. Look, I've said it before. People are, I'd like this game to be easier. Well, guess what? I want games to be more difficult. So go fuck yourself. Because you get all the easy games, and I'd like a few hard ones. So fuck off.
Yes. Their comments that from Devoted Cub says, I want to see someone play Elden Ring like that.
Yeah, we should do that. We should 100%.
So someone, not us.
Well,
I mean, we're someone. Well, we're two people. We're two someones.
Yeah, but
there you go. Someone else commented that they used to play Forza that way with one of their friends. One would shift and the other would drive.
Hard. Wow, okay. Yeah, shifting wouldn't be that bad. It'd still be annoying.
Yeah.
But,
just make the noise while you do it.
like, look, there are so many fucking simple games. We don't need to pollute games that are actually difficult by making them simpler.
Yep. Agree.
I struggle to find games that are like up my alley and also somewhat difficult. That's one of the reasons why I end up going to board games, because they're verses, so they're as hard as your opponent. That's why I play like 1846 and stuff, because like it's a complex game that takes a lot of thinking. And the one guy we play with, Matt, is fucking insane at it, and I have yet to win, and I like that. That's fun. So people who want to like dilute hard games because it's not inclusive or some shit, fuck off.
Yeah,
just absolutely go fuck yourself. Every Mario game in the last decade and a half has been utter bullshit because it's too easy to play. Don't come telling me that you want an easy mode for Elden Ring. Piss off.
Because even it was funny with like playing Super Mario Wonder, and like you get to those stages where it shows like, you know, the max stars, like it's a 4-star. It's really supposed to be a super hard stage. And it's really not.
Not at all. No. Sometimes annoying. Like sometimes it's a little finicky, but there's a difference between finicky and difficulty, which is actually kind of why I don't love Elden Ring, because I find it leans, not entirely, but it leans towards finicky. There's difficulty there for sure, but it leans towards finicky. Either way, like it's still a type of difficulty, and it does it well. And I've never, like, seriously, I've tried most of the Mario games and they're all shit because they're so easy.
Yeah.
That's why I still play the originals. I still play Mario 1, 2, 3. Well, 1 and 3 because 2 doesn't exist. But
the sense of accomplishment too, I think, with like a harder or challenger game is definitely a lot better. Like with Elden Ring, when I played through Elden Ring, and I'm not a Souls aficionado myself. I mean, the first Souls game I played was Dark Souls 3. Yeah. Actually, it was that, because of that, and then Bloodborne. But with Elden Ring, when I got into it, you know, like I like the sense of accomplishment, like when you're facing down an enemy or a boss or whatever. Like one of the better fights I had was against Star Scourge Radon, who was crazy fight. And I remember when I finally beat him, I was like, yes, you know, it was just one of those like, you know, I did it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm
hey,
gonna buy myself a cake.
If you don't want,
looks like tacos.
If you don't want difficulty, there are lots of games.
Yep.
If you don't care about a sense of like satisfaction of doing something difficult, there are lots of games. Go fucking play Candy Crush.
Yep.
And by the way, if somebody comments that Candy Crush is difficult, I'm gonna fucking find them and slap them. But there are lots of games for that. There are fewer and fewer games every year that are actually even remotely difficult.
Yeah.
I get right pissed when people start calling for, let's make it easier. It's like, no, absolutely not.
No.
Unacceptable. That is an unacceptable attitude to have, because there is 99% of the market serves that person already. They don't need the other 1%.
I think it'd be interesting to have you play a game that has like where you can choose your difficulty levels, and like right away picking the hardest mode for you just to see if you find it just
Which game?
I don't know.
Give me a game. I'll do it.
We'll find one.
Give me a game in the comments.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I mean, we could do Elden Ring. I haven't actually played Elden Ring.
I mean like just like ones that where there actually is an easy mode.
Okay, yeah.
And then just playing it, like seeing if that's the kind of difficulties you're looking for.
God of War and God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Like they all have modes.
I'll do it. I won't mind.
Yeah, no, it'd just be interesting to know if that's the kind of difficulty you're looking for or if there's just something else.
Rarely, and the only reason is usually it involves cheating. We've actually talked about this long time ago. Things like Warcraft going way back, like any RTS, the way they made it difficult was to just give the computer extra resources.
Yeah.
The way they made things like Unreal Tournament difficult is just that the the godlike bots or whatever, they knew where you were at all times.
Yeah.
There was no like, oh, there he is, let me aim. It was just, they literally just had a beat on you all the time. And it was just a matter of like, there was a slight delay before they shot. It's like, well, that's not difficulty. That's just cheating.
Yeah.
And I could still beat them, but like, it's like, that's not a fun difficulty because that's not how players play. So by and large, a lot of the difficulty settings are just stupid. They're just cheating. They're not actually interesting. But I'm always up for it. Yeah. I mean, the ones that are just like, they have more health and stuff, that's fine.
Yeah.
Those are fine. They work well.
Those are
Bullet
just
sponges. Like,
yeah.
this is harder, so we're going to give them more life.
Less power-ups and stuff. That works.
We'll add like a shit ton of ads that you have to take care of too.
Oh, that's
stupid. Like the Mario games, they only got... my biggest problem with all of the new Mario games is just that they're like, hey, you started a level, here's a free life. Oh, you died, here's a free life. Oh, you jumped, here's a free life. It's like, fuck off. Yeah. You used to be like, you could still rack up free lives, but you had to like try. Yeah. It didn't just naturally occur because you happened to open the game.
Yeah. Or go to level 3-1 or 3-2 and then have the shell that was coming down the steps just and jump on it over and over and over and over and over
that
again.
Took practice to get that right. You'd kill yourself like 150 times before you got it right. Before you got it down, I should say. Yeah. Like that's okay because it's skill. There's still a practiced skill there. Yeah. The new Mario's literally, it's like, oh, hey, like you got 100 points. Here's a life. You got, you know, it's Tuesday. Here's 10 lives. It's fucking ridiculous, and it makes them easy and stupid. So, like, it's all about difficulty. It's all about how you do it. A lot of games, the difficulty is done very poorly, but some are done well. So,
one thing I've really appreciated with the Lara Croft game that I've been playing is there's 2 difficulty levels that you can choose. So normally with games, I want to play it to have fun. I want some challenge, but not too much. I find easy mode just gives me exactly what I want.
For sure.
But I like puzzles. I'm a puzzle person. Yep. This game is the first game I've noticed, and I imagine there's others. I'd love to know about them, where I got to choose the difficulty for fighting, and I'm terrible at fighting, so I picked the easy difficulty for that. And the puzzles were...
That's clever.
Yes.
There was.
I appreciate that.
I can't remember... It was a recent release too, and I can't remember what it was.
I like that though. That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, look, like it's not that I never play a game on easy mode. Like Factorio, I will often play with the biters off. Now, part of that's because unless you go for like the hell world, they're just not really a challenge to begin with. But there's nothing wrong with easy modes in games or easy games. It's just like there are enough of those. Yes, we don't need every game polluted by that.
No.
But yeah, no, like story games and everything else, like I'm all for it.
Yeah.
One of the games that I enjoyed probably most in terms of difficulty, and I don't even think it was a setting, I think it was just fucking difficult, was I want to say it was like Dead by Daylight or something. It was the one where you had to be indoors before night fell, and it was multiplayer, and that was a great game. I loved the shit out of that game. If you were outside, it was like panic time.
Never tried that game. I'd love to try that game.
Fun. We should see. I think there was a sequel that maybe we played the sequel. I don't even remember, but we should check it out because it'd be fun to play at night.
Oh.
But yeah, no. Anyways, so difficulty in Elden Ring, fuck off. It's not even my cup of tea, and don't change it. It needs to be difficult. What's up?
Oh, I just looked it up on Steam here. There's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Then there's DLC for All Things Wicked chapter, I guess, whatever. Alien, as in like movies,
okay.
Resident Evil, and Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes.
Not sure how that would work, but cool.
I don't know.
I think it was Dead by Daylight that we played. Anyways, on the note of D&D, that D20 that you sent us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I came across today a...
I'll try to remember to put up a image of it.
Yeah.
it's from go ahead.
No, I was going to say I was just scrolling on Instagram and came across a skill-based D20. Who's it from?
It's the Instagram page is called Deck of DM Things.
Yeah, and so it's just an STL file that you 3D print, and it's like those old games with the ball bearings where you like try and get it into the center of a maze.
Like
and
Labyrinth.
a little labyrinth thing. And then if you fall in one of the little holes, that just corresponds to one of the numbers.
Yeah, the further along the track the hole is, the more it's worth.
Yeah.
I actually should have printed just a small one. Because the one that he printed is way too big for starters.
Yeah.
Like anyone who shows up at a table with something that big, I'm fucking gonna slap them to begin with.
It's a coaster.
Oh yeah, and then some. Like he had a handle in it. It's like that's come on, give me a break. So my comment on it was if somebody showed up to a table that I was DMing with that, I would slap it out of their hands and step on it. Unless they were only using it for like lockpicks, in which case I'd fully support it. If there is one thing D&D does not need, it's slower dice rolls.
That's fair.
I like the premise of like there's some skill involved in your roll. I kind of like that a little bit, which is why for like something like lockpicking, I could get behind it because it's a dexterity challenge for a dexterity check. I could get on board with that. But if somebody pulled that out for any other I'd be like, get that the fuck. Like, come on.
No.
We
I
do
can see
not
where you're
need
coming
this
from
to
with
take
that.
8 hours today.
No.
For a 1 hour session.
No.
So maybe I'm just a little bit, well, I'm an old man, so that's probably part of it. But I don't like all of those little not dice, like the freaking daggers. Like you got a bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
Like
like the weird shaped ones and stuff.
I fucking hate that shit. And like whatever, like I like to have just my traditional dice in front of me, whatever, like I'm I'm an old guy. I haven't been playing that long.
Yeah.
But I would rather have the traditional set of dice instead of like a D4 that looks like a dagger or that lock picking. Was it you that had
the lock picking thing where you spin it?
Hated that. Fucking so dumb.
I'm mostly in the same. So there are mild exceptions to that. Like I really liked the D4s that I got that had like the hearts on them that are like dedicated healer dice.
Those
for
are
like cure minor wounds and stuff. I like those.
Yeah.
I like the potion bottles that have dice in them that you dump out. I mean, those are still dice, but like I like dice, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, like the coins and the fucking weird shaped dice that are impossible to read and stuff like that. I'm not going to stop anybody else from using them, to each their own. But for me, I'm like, dice are great. What's wrong with fucking dice, man?
That big ass D100 that we.
Oh, it's over there. I can grab it.
That one's hard to read.
You guys talk. I'll grab it.
It is hard to read, but there was when we were in Ohio for what was it? Origins a couple years ago. I think it was Foam Brain.
Yes.
Foam Brain Games. They had this big, huge D100. There it is.
Yep, this should be it. I'm just gonna walk in front of the camera again.
Oh my god! Yeah, they had this big ass D100, and I remember I had seen it when we were in Philadelphia. You can't really see it that well. It's just a bit smaller than like a billiards ball.
Here, I might be able to hold it up.
But
I'll hold it up in front of your face.
Yeah.
No, that's not working.
Yeah. It's a D100. And we've rolled it several times here, and it is pretty freaking accurate.
It worked pretty well with that big tray that I have.
Yeah.
The like giant one.
Yeah.
Normal dice tray, it's a little too heavy and a little too big for it, but it's a cool die. I like it.
And they did have like the lighter plastic ones, but
They
We've
don't
seen-
roll very well.
Yeah, this one's like iridescent and it's really fun and just kind of
Yeah.
funky and whatever.
And it's a weapon.
bismuth.
It's a weapon,
It's
yeah.
chunky, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you had this at your tabletop game and somebody came in and they said, "Yeah, give me your wallet," you could probably throw this at their head and they will die
If you hit them.
if you hit them real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hit, you got to roll first. You got to roll first and see if you hit.
Then you hand them a die and say, roll to dodge.
Yeah. The only times that I like weird dice, or different dice, I should say, is I'm generally okay with the deck of, like, the D20 deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use them personally, but I know people who like them, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair. It takes the randomness away, which for me, I'm like, but I get it. It's fine. And then there are certain things where it's like a pass fail that I'm okay with, like doing like flip a coin or something. I know one person who did, they did like a fake Russian roulette with a cap gun where only one of the chambers, it was like a cap gun revolver and only one of the chambers had a cap in it.
I love that.
And so it was like for a D6, it's like you spin it, and then if the cap goes off, you win, and otherwise it's a fail.
Yep.
I like things like that are cute from like
Immersion. Yeah.
for very specific things.
Yeah.
But like for general die rolls, I'm like, no. D20s and D10s and stuff, like they are tried and true and they work great.
Mm.
And if you want special ones, there are special ones. Like get gemstone, get whatever. Like
Yep.
we've got 8,000 sets
Shit,
of dice.
tons of dice.
And more on the way,
Yeah, the Odyssey dice boys are
Yeah.
starting to ship them out, so hopefully we get those dice soon.
hopefully. You were saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't mind the novelty dice for smaller rolls. Like I like the dagger and stuff. They're also I also fidget a lot, so they're great for
Yes.
fidgeting with. I think they're fun. I think they're cute.
Mhm.
Some of the larger ones, like I think the D10 and the D20 that I have from that set are like a diamond shape, and those ones are very hard to read because you have to turn it like a top to begin with, and then it's figuring out which one is the number that is on the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're fun.
Yeah, no, they're fun, and for especially if somebody's like, this is for my specific spell or something, I'm like, rock on.
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's some like
a
special rule.
Okay.
Like if it's magic missile or something, and it's like you add one, and they've got special dice that add one.
Yeah,
or
you have
whatever.
magic missile dice too.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
forget if they actually made them 2 to 5 or if they were still 1 to 4. But
I think they were
anyways,
4.
doesn't matter. Stuff like that, I'm cool with. And like I said, like I'm never gonna tell somebody if it's a dice and it works like a dice,
Mhm.
a die. I'm never gonna be like, no, you
No.
suck for using that. But when you start getting into weird stuff, where especially if it takes extra effort,
Yeah.
I'm like, piss off. Like the coin flips and stuff. I'm like, now you're just adding to the. Now you have to flip a coin and then look at it to figure it out without disturbing which one it's in. And
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. Come
I
on.
don't understand how the coin. Granted, I've never looked into them, but I don't understand how they work.
Well, there's 2 kinds. One are just straight up coins that are
Yeah.
just pass fail. Those are easy.
yeah.
Those are fine.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
those
mind
are
those.
Fine.
The other one that somebody was working on was like it had a ball bearing inside of it, and it would fall into one of the tracks, and then it would like sort of lock in. It was kind of like a labyrinth inside,
Oh.
and it was just depending on how it landed. It went. It's a neat idea,
Hmm.
but practically speaking, it was hard to read, and it was kind of like it was just one of those like cool, but because you couldn't like catch it and do that. Like you had to let it land on the table. And then it's like, okay, now which one's it in? I can't pick it up and look, or else it'll move. So. No.
Yeah. There's
Come
one
on.
I see all the time advertised that's I think a full set in a single coin.
Yeah.
That one I really don't understand, but if people like it, then
I
go
assume
ahead.
it's just different multiples or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. All that stuff, I'm kind of like, no, come on. Just roll some fucking dice.
I think as a dice collector who wants someone that unique dice, but maybe not use them, I could see that being appealing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And again, like if somebody was like, I have this for pickpocketing. Cool. Like I have my special coin die for pickpocketing. Great. Rock on.
Yeah.
I have my special die for, persuasion check. Cool. Whatever helps you with immersion.
Mhm.
But like day to day, especially for combat, I'm like, roll a fucking die and give me the result. The last thing we need is to drag this fucking thing on. So,
I brought this actual door lock and lock picking system.
Oh my God.
hey man, I'd let that slide.
That's actually pretty cool.
So while he picks this lock, we're going to level up.
The DC is just the number of tumblers they have to pick within a 1 minute window or something.
I mean, that sounds like the LARPing conversation that we were having upstairs, actually.
Yeah.
You're trying to break into the king's bedroom, are you? Well, that's like 10.
Yeah. Here's a 12 disc detainer lock and.
Never mind.
Oh,
Let's go for ice cream.
If you fail, you get electrocuted.
Well, I'll use
let
the
me get the jumper cables here.
I'm going to use the pick that Bosnian Bill and I made for any LPL fans out there. Lockpicking lawyer. He's absolutely amazing. I love him. Yeah, we can chat quickly about nerd stuff for a minute.
I don't even know what are we at anyway.
I
like
forgot 20-ish minutes.
There we go.
That, a little more than that. We can go a little long. It's fine.
Yeah, it came up because we were just chatting and you just casually dropped that you used to make chainmail as a kid.
Yeah, and Sarah's response was there anything nerdy you didn't do?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. LARPing. It was the one thing that I didn't do.
I did,
but yeah. No, I made actually quite a bit of chainmail, and so the only thing I didn't do was I never got into properly welding all the links. I just did like form fitting. Like ring, sort of mechanical friction tension.
Like just clamping them together.
Yeah, there's a way that if you cut it with a specific tool, you can lock it together, and it locks together like decently. You're supposed to weld it afterwards, but I was 12 or something when I was building this, so I wasn't doing a lot of welding at that time in my life. So,
buddy of mine, one of my old bands I was in like 10 years ago, his wife's brother and his friend made chainmail too. So it was before we had a show at Toronto at the Opera House, and he made like a stainless steel like the little wristband.
Yeah.
So he put it on, and as he's like, once this is on, like it's not coming off. You realize that, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. And he put it on, and it was probably about like 2 inches on my wrist.
Yeah.
I have it was the strongest arm I had. I swear to God.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. And someday I might make something out of chainmail. I made a glove that was out of like a really nice brass wire. It was thin gauge, so it was intricate. It wouldn't do shit for armor, even if it was welded, or brazed in that case. But it was cute. Like it looked good. It's a fun thing to do. It's pretty easy to do. It's fun. I might do it again someday now that I'm old enough to actually like break out an arc welder and stuff, but spot welder anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you mentioned, and like that LARPing is the only thing I can think of that I didn't do. I did all of the things.
I just found a LARPing group in Acton, which is like what?
About an
hour. Less than an hour.
What do they do?
It's called Mistfall. It's a fantasy live action role playing game played monthly in Acton.
Okay.
Classless rule set allows you to take control and evolve your character as diversely or as focused as you choose.
How long is it?
I don't know. They have. I just went to their page.
Well, fucking answer my question.
Remember what I was saying earlier about facts and stuff? Like,
do your fucking research. I always do all the
Yes, we all know.
I'm never here to do research.
That's right. So yeah, anyways, yeah, I think I've alluded to it on the podcast before, but like I founded the debate team and the chess club and the math club. Yeah. But I also, built go-karts with my cousin and was on the football team for a while. So, it's diverse childhood.
Like trying to balance it all.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Touchdown!
I was still much more of a nerd than I was anything else, but Did you find out? The reason I ask is because if it's a group that gets together like once a week, that's useless.
No, it's monthly.
Yeah.
Well, no, but even if it's like a group that gets together like once a month or something, like if it's like a weekend long thing that you can go and like book a hotel and just that might be interesting.
Yeah, there's the next one's July 26th through 28th.
Okay, so
Scout Camp.
So it is just like a weekend long thing because the thing that I always figured I might try for LARPing was there was a camp for adults, and it was like a week-long thing, and you went, and it was in the States. I think it was in Ohio. I'm not sure. And it was like a week-long thing, and you went and you played a week-long LARP in like the woods and shit. And I was like, that sounds fun. So before when we were talking about this, I said that I never got into LARPing mostly because I didn't realize that the actual action portion of live action role playing existed, I had seen and heard about people doing like the stupid like run around screaming fireball and stuff, and I'm like, that's just dumb. I if that's your cup of tea, that's fine, but for me, I'm like, no,
That's kids playing pretend, basically.
exactly. I'm like, I can't get into that. But then I found out that most people actually do it where you like hurl beanbags and hit each other with swords, which is what you did.
Oh yeah.
And that, I'm like, well, now that changes everything, because now you're talking about more like a paintball game, except high fantasy, and that I can get behind. So yeah, we should. I don't know if we'll have to look into it.
Yeah,
we probably
there
won't
seems
do the
to be a
next
few in
one,
Ontario.
but
yeah.
we could probably arrange that at some point. That sounds fun. Yeah, because you LARPed a bunch. As a younger man.
Well, yeah, kids, like imaginations and stuff. It was beginning of high school. My brother did it a lot more.
Yeah.
I went out a couple times with a bunch of friends and we made swords out of like old hockey sticks that were broken or whatever. And we did not ease up. Like there were some bruises and bumps and cuts and some shit talking and all that stuff, but it was like we were all playing a character. We all like a lot of the characters, Kirk, I know Kirk's I think one of Kirk's characters evolved into a D&D character that he ended up playing as. And it was fun. It was just you go out to the forest when there was forest there. There's homes there now.
Yeah, right.
But you just go out to the forest and just you kind of like, it's like when you pick teams in hockey, right? You throw sticks or whatever. You threw fucking sticks, but they were just swords. And
and like that sounds pretty fun. I mean, basically, it's the difference between a game of paintball where it's like there's actual like contact and there's like you're in combat versus tag. A 3-day long game of tag doesn't sound all that interesting to me. Although I say that I love the group that played tag for like 40 years or something.
My God, that's amazing.
There's a movie about it. Have you watched the movie?
No, I've never even heard
we got to
of this.
watch the movie. I think it's called Tag. It might be called You're It. But anyways, there's a group of guys who played tag. They literally for like 40 some years or something. They were like fully like one of them was like a fucking CEO, but like if one of his friends would like show up and like get him, and it was like he would drop shit and play tag. And it's like the coolest thing. But yeah, like I don't know. 3-day game of tag doesn't sound quite as interesting as 3-day game of like paintball sort of thing.
It's probably a lot better if you're using beanbag guns.
Sure. Well, this is like even just
or
hucking
beanbag shotguns. Yeah.
Yeah, even just hucking beanbags at each other. Like that's cool as long as there's like contact. Like literally the stuff that I would see was like fireball, and it's like how the fuck do you know you're hitting them? Like, well, this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is stupid. But like I hurled a beanbag at you and I hit you. My spell landed. I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. Fireball! I don't think you need to go quite that far.
Well, the beanbag shotgun.
Yeah, those hurt a lot.
Magic missile.
In a lot of ways, though, isn't paintballing is LARPing war?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like that's why I compare it directly to paintball because that is right. It's live action role play of gunfight.
Yep.
So
it's COD LARPing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, 100%, and I love it. It's great. And so yeah, like that sort of thing. If I had realized that's what it was when I was a kid, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a stupid thing that people. And again, if that's your jam, that's fine. I'm this kind of person that's like there needs to be a definitive like action taken.
Yeah.
If you just want to tell stories, that's cool. But then in that case, play D&D.
Exactly.
Don't run around the woods yelling fireball because to me that's silly. But if that's what you like, that's fine. I think that's mostly kids that do that, though. I don't think.
And it might attract a local neighbor's attention, thinking that you're trying to light the whole thing on fire.
And you only kind of were.
Yeah.
The movie is called Tag.
And
we should absolutely watch it. And if you haven't watched it, you should watch it at home as well. It's great. So
cool.
But with that, it looks like A, it's my turn in trains. And B, I didn't even talk about Board Game Arena. We'll have to talk about that next week.
Same Dice to Pixels time. Same Dice to Pixels channel. Follow Heels to Headboard.
Mwah.
Love you. Bye.